Howdy, folks, and welcome to Moose Podcast 302. How you guys all doing? Trust you're having a great, almost coming up the end of summer. I got a bunch of folks who tell me their kids start school shortly and they're trying to get in those last minute summer shoots. Oh man, time. Well, I appreciate the time that you guys spend with me. And of course, some of those emails have been coming in. Got some great ones. Going to answer one of those questions today in this episode. I appreciate you stopping by, thinking, and I do appreciate a couple of you stopping by to say thanks for getting the podcast on Spotify. Right? Yeah, that's what it is. So thanks, guys. I want to thank my good friends at Bedford Camera, bedfords.com. So a whole lot going on there. For example, Photo Expo in Little Rock coming up August 4th through 6th. I will be there. I'd love to see you. Love to have a chance to talk with you. Come on by. It's going to be a great event, great speakers, great classes. It's going to be a marvelous, that's a Bedford's only Photo Expo 4 through 6 in Little Rock. And Bedford's, of course, came through again, over and over again. They got the Z400 4.5 and the Z30 to me this past week. Loving them both. So, you're looking for that gear, looking for that expert advice, looking for the saving of the money with that great inventory. That's bedfords.com. Remember to mention the old MOOSE to get that discount. It makes a difference. It's one of the reasons why I shop there. Yeah, I know my name is Moose, but I do still ask for the Moose discount for a reason. So bedfords.com. Thank you guys for sponsoring the Moose Podcast. Well, I'm going to get right into this week's episode. It's a question from Dennis. And kind of sums it up. He says, is video taking over? That's a really excellent question. Dennis was talking about how he goes Instagram and he's constantly being invited to either create his own reels, start his Reels account, or B, if he looks at one reel, then all of a sudden he's flooded with a ton of other reels that Instagram thinks he should be watching. And reels are different than video content as far as Instagram is concerned, because Instagram is monetizing them reels and they are not monetizing the video. And so Dennis was wondering, with Instagram really pushing that, and he says so much more video content on Twitter. And like me, he said he's not on TikTok, but TikTok is basically all video. He wants to know, is video taking over? And that's really a valid question. And if you're looking at, and I just mentioned those 3 social media streams, it'd be really easy to find out and to see and come to the conclusion that video is the way in which a lot of folks are out there putting out their story. Now, a story that came out this last week, which didn't get any play, which I was kind of depressed about, was the study that was done, and it showed that 70% of the folks who look at Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, 70% are then, after looking at those social streams, depressed about either where their life is, what they're doing for a living, or how they're spending their off time. 70%. That's a huge, huge slice of the audience that comes away from that social experience depressed. I was shocked by it. What does that have to do with video? Well, I think that's a valid question. It probably has something to do completely with 100% with the social media experience and how we choose to participate, either as a viewer or contributor. So Dennis, directly to your question, is video taking over? No, it is not. Is video a bigger slice of the pie than it was 5 years ago? Yes. Bigger than 3 years ago? Yes. Is it taking over? No. But like you, Dennis, I am kind of overwhelmed by this. I don't want to say hunger. Let's just say demand by the social streams for video content to the point where Instagram is going to pay you if you do the reels. I think it's a cap, like $1,200 for the whole year, if you whatever. But so what's the game? And that's a really good question. And so right off the bat, Dennis, and everybody else, the means of video is, and this is just my humble opinion, but when it comes to telling a visual story, it's a whole lot easier doing it in a video clip than it is a still photograph. Point blank. When you see a movie or a video, anything that's moving, the mind fills in so much that it's really hard to comprehend all that the mind is taking and filling in that's really not there, but between your imagination, your visual memory core, your mind fills in holes that are actually physically there. One of the things that right off the bat, you tend not to worry about highlight and shadow details. Mind fills in that information. Colors could be off. Mind fills in that information. There could be key elements in the story not being told visually that are being filled in by music or by voice or by actual animation of the character in there as they move their arms, their face. All that, really, it just, the mind is not really perfect at picking up all those subtle details. Now, when you have a still image, you have one thing to look at. The mind is boom. Okay, table's been set. Here's my plate of offerings. I like the roast beef, but not so much the lima beans and the gravy. It's instantly the brain looks at that single image and dissects it. The good, the bad, the ugly. And that is really, I think, the reason why video is seemingly taking over. You can create video content that is, I share videos. So I'm like everybody else. I have a couple of really dear friends who we just like to look at the comedy that is out there in life and think about it. The one that comes to mind lately is this kind of funny video of some, I'm just call them really overweight people that people come up and slap their bodies in different spots and make different sounds. Now, how the heck are you gonna, do that with a still, right? And it is funny, and most of this content is funny. Another video that I thought was really cool was this wind turbine that got struck by lightning. And it's another video, and it's going around, catching on fire, making smoke swirls. So some content definitely lends itself to video. Other content, not so much. But when you have the option, right, of doing a quick video and with our devices posting it so quickly, if you're not photo savvy, photo literate, then perhaps the video, iPhone, video, boom, gone. I mean, have you ever noticed how much video that is on these streams is vertical? It's not horizontal. Telling you where it's coming from a smart device rather than an actual video camera. Now, Dennis, I feel the pressure, like other creators of content, to create the video. There's some out there in the photo industry who feel it so much both to make money, right? And that's still coming from a couple of factors. The pandemic has still that mentality of trying to make money without going out, still is in there. At the same time, there's the ego that needs to be stroked. And if you're not out in front of a crowd, that's one way of getting it done. And then there's just those creative juices that have to, keep flowing. All those things, kind of add up this pressure of creating a video. So, I mean, to be honest, if you look at in trying to, I guess I'm going to say word cope with this phenomenon, I too have succumbed to doing more posting of my video content. Now, I've been shooting video for a long time, since the D3S with a DSLR or mirrorless camera, but we shot video long before that, back with tape. And it's all gone into different, just two stock houses to sell video content, because those little clips, they pay really good money, and it's not really that hard for me to do. But to get more serious about it, and if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see how infrequently I post. It's got to be, for me, easier. I'm going through the summer break, trying to better my video editing skills with Premiere, going beyond what I've been able to do so far to more with, color grading and color management and some other basics to improve that. But if you look at the top of my video or website, you'll see where now to compete with, I shouldn't say compete because I'm nowhere near competing, just to go with the mainstream. The top of the video page has had a video up there rather than a still image since last fall. And Dennis, to answer your question, is video taking over? It's taken over, I'm going to say for myself, a little bit more of the front of my brain, and I think about it more often. It's more on my radar than it was just a year ago or 2 years ago, to the point where I did invest in the new N30, which I really love that little camera. And we got it and put it in the locker for one reason, and that is for video content. We had no plans or desire or application to use it as a still camera. It's strictly as a video. It doesn't replace the Z9 when it comes to video. No. For a lot of reasons. The main one is that the Z9 has so much more power and use of lenses, and it's just a little more for what I do. To plug the Z30, like for example, on the 800 millimeter to do wildlife, it doesn't make any sense when the Z9 is already there. But the Z30 for doing BTS behind the scenes, it's perfect. But in my mind, the Z30 is my time-lapse camera. It's small, it's light, doesn't take much of a tripod or any kind of, platypod, anything to mount it. And it has, this incredible battery life, and it can do time lapse. So rather than, sacrificing one of my Z9s to do a time lapse, I can use the Z30. And it's so small that it fits in my briefcase. I can travel with it easy. I got the 16 to 50, I think it is. I don't even know that lens. I don't even memorize that lens yet on it. So it's a really small little pancake lens. It just is a small little kit for doing just that, basic video and time lapse. And that's really kind of where I'm at with video. Am I going to do more reels in Instagram? That was one of Dennis's question. I think Dennis emailed me after he saw the two that I had. Was it two or one? Anyway, reels that I had tested the waters in Instagram last week. And I literally answered that other question, Dennis, as I skip around here. Yes, I did post 2 videos to Instagram to see what was going on. Then I posted the 2 reels to see what was going on. And I'm not going to get rich doing reels, Dennis. That's for darn sure. And did anybody, I mean, there were some nice comments, but no one reached out to me business-wise and said, hey, I saw your reel, I saw your video. Let me give you a whole lot of money to do some more. Yeah, that didn't happen either. In fact, I know a lot of people use Instagram as a business, the old, what's that phrase that I love so much? Oh, branding. Yeah, that's yeah, no, I haven't picked up, we haven't picked up any business from Instagram or Twitter. We still, the old fashioned way of working images and clients. But, here's the thing. There's lots that have come and gone, at least in my time as a professional photographer. Yeah, I call them fads, for lack of better terms, that, everybody says, this is the latest and greatest, and you need to do it. Now, the last one of these quote-unquote fads that was truly turned out to be one of those things that you need to do it because it's the latest and greatest, and that's the Z mirrorless. Definitely one of the, it's a life and game changer for myself and for WRP and for a lot of other individuals. And video is a part of the reason why the Z has been so influential in my photography. But is video taking over? I want to mention just this one thing, Dennis, for you to think about. Let's say that you have in front of you unfolding one of the most amazing events you've ever seen. Since I'm sitting here worrying about the lightning that I see coming towards the ranch here on my iPhone on the radar, and my phone's chiming, and I'm going, please don't come until I finish this podcast because I have to shut down everything because it's coming right for a direct hit for me. Anyway, let's say you're out there and there's been some incredible tornadic supercell activity this last, 4 or 5 days in North and South Dakota. Some just amazing. Let's say that you want to bring that out. You have the option of still or video. And I've storm chased and I'm really got the hang around to get back to it again here. You have the option of stills or video. And the still, it can bring out drama just unbelievably when it comes to storm chasing in those big cells. And video, I saw 2 videos that were, and one way of doing a time lapse is shooting video and then changing the way you view it in post, speeding up or slowing it down. And in this case, they sped it up and you could see the rotation in that video of that one supercell in North Dakota. And it was like, it just knocked me over. It was amazing. And that's where I think a lot of people are missing out on video, is understanding the storytelling potential and making the differential for your own story you want to tell between that still and that video. So until that distinction is made in the majority of the content providers out there doing this, and not the novelty or not the ease, I don't think video is taking over. If you want to go out and shoot 4K, where are you going to show that 4K that everybody can see it? I mean, there's a lot of limitations still, and things to and sound. Oh boy, sound is a challenge. So, bottom line, I think that everybody should be aware of video. I think they should be able to capture video and do some basic, rudimentary editing of video at this point, if they want to move forward in their storytelling abilities and connecting with the public. Do they need to just do video and not do stills? Yeah, I can't see that for myself, so I can't explain or influence or tell you should do that. It's just in this crazy busy world, I think sometimes taking a deep breath and looking at a still is more comforting than a video. And I still want to go with that positive side of visual storytelling. So Dennis and everybody else, I hope that helps with that question people have. And I hope that you will explore video, but not let it dominate quite yet your social stream. Because, if you want to make every click your story of a video, there's more than one click. You guys have a great week. And yes, make every click your story.